I didn't know we're on the rock and roller coaster right now. We're here with an absolute USF legend. I know you rode the Nightlife Express. I know you got busy at Mint. I know you got busy at Study. And now that you're a high-end broad, you go to the Moxie in St. Pete. You might get a little cocktail with my boy Justin. Can we make some noise for the Hoff one time?
How we doing? Pleasure to be here.
Bro, you flew straight off of work to make this one happen.
I did. I flew in on the PJ,
With
just touchdown.
basically no warning.
No warning. But I'm honored to be here.
Yeah. Hoff's been a long-time fan of the pod.
Sutton says.
For those of you guys that don't know, he has been one of the most consistently working DJs in the area over the last 4 years? 5 years?
Yeah, up there. I'd say like 2021 is kind of February when I kind of really started in the Tampa scene, and then moving on. But about 4 years, though. Yeah.
Right. And those earlier days, that was a whole lot of college shit.
Oh, yeah.
Tailgates.
All college stuff. Tailgates, frat parties, parties like sorority events, stuff like that. All fraternity, Greek-related for sure.
So back then, you pledged your allegiance to Cody J.
I did. Cody J was definitely
big Cody J fans over here on Sutton.
We love Cody J. Cody J, shout out to you.
Yeah.
But no, Cody definitely put me on. My first like real gig was under Cody J. It was Halloween at Bears in 2020.
Bears Tapping Tavern, baby.
Yeah.
With Swanee?
And that was back when Cody was pretty young, so he had a table there, and he liked my music and stuff like that. So he ended up booking me moving forward, and I was consistent. Always showed up on time, ready to work. So I kind of stayed on top of it there. And then eventually Mint opened up after Bears. Then I kind of started there, Mint, and then stayed there for like 2 years, and then unfortunately closed down. But
you were kind of running the programming for there too, weren't you?
I was doing the bookings for DJs. So yeah, I was booking all the DJs there. We weren't having like any like big acts or like that, but a lot of like
Doesn't
locals.
matter.
For sure. But I was running the monthly programming. I was the entertainment director, technically.
At what, 12 years old?
12 years old. Yeah, I was actually I was I started DJing when I was 20, so I was about like 22 when this.
Oh, excuse me, Sammy.
Sorry.
He wasn't 12. He was 22.
22. 10 years different.
Yeah, but it's basically the same thing. But for you that was probably your first time actually closing out clubs. But you're also in charge of finding the guys that are going to be filling in for you, opening for you, all that. That's another element of the game, isn't it?
For sure. Definitely adds to it. You kind of got to like structure your whole night like properly and stuff like that. You got to make sure your openers are good for opening, not playing the wrong stuff. Make sure your closers are the same thing. Make sure they're playing the right music because you want to keep the crowd there. So definitely booking. I wouldn't say it's too hard at like a college club because everyone there is kind of there for the drinks and not necessarily there as much so for the music. So it's kind of like the bookings aren't like as like it's important, but not as important as like a traditional like club.
I almost wanted to spin that question back to Sammy, like, oh yeah,
Sammy's got a way harder job.
At Ivy, huh?
Yeah, Sammy's got a harder job because he's got to book people at places that have a specific vibe, a specific format. For people that are older, they're not there just for the drinks. They're there for the music. They're there for the entertainment. They're there for the vibes. They're there for the conversation.
Atmosphere. Yeah.
Versus college kids, they're not there for the conversation. They're there for like just to have a good time, get messed up and drink a lot. But
right,
it's a different field for sure.
So those early days was heavy college, but nowadays you have the ability to still do a sorority event.
Yeah.
But you're at the Moxie.
Yeah,
which is getting, hair twirling for being some high end.
The Moxie Hotel it's definitely pretty nice. I'm like right in the age range where I can kind of be with the younger crowd, but as well as the older crowd.
Right, and without it being creepy.
Yeah, younger as in 18 plus younger. And then
why say 18 like that?
I don't know, but yeah. So like I'm still able to fit in with the college crowd. I wouldn't say like I fit in with them like as in like I would hang out with them, but I know what the type of music they want. I still fit in with the younger generation. I also grew up with my older sister. She's 33 now. I'm 26, so like I kind of grew up with like the older music around me and being involved in that a lot. So that helps out with a lot of my other gigs like Jekyll, where I play like 90s hip hop and 2000s hip hop and stuff like that.
Jekyll's nice.
Jekyll's really nice. Yeah, I love Jekyll. It's a really intimate vibe. It's a nice spot. They have a lot of creative, like really crafty drinks there, and I enjoy it. Another Chaz venue.
Shout out to Chaz.
Shout out to Chaz.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, Jekyll's great. The drinks there are fantastic. The service is there. The vibe's great. I really love the 90s, 2000s format, like hip hop wise.
You pull it off, especially for like your age. You're not supposed to know
Yeah,
that music.
I know.
and you do.
Every time I play a song there, everyone looks at me. They're like, "Damn, like he knows this song." I'm like, "You're damn right, I do."
Yeah.
So I definitely get them. They don't move too much because everybody's seated, but they're moving in the chairs.
Right. So, and we were just talking with Sammy about how like summer is a little bit slower when it pertains to gigs.
For sure.
And obviously it's slower for you,
Yeah.
slower for me, slower for all of us. But do you think your versatility and your ability to play the younger stuff while also being able to play that older kind of rich people stuff,
Yeah.
does that help you keep yourself booked? Or
For
does it
sure.
even matter?
I think versatility is definitely the most important thing in this industry, especially with bookings. And Tampa's not like a huge like EDM city. They're more like open format. There's such a diverse like clientele in the city that you kind of have to keep the music versatile. And if you're not, then people are not going to stick around.
Yeah.
So I think the versatility is huge, especially in the city that we're in. And I think if you're not versatile, unfortunately, like you're not going to get booked a lot. And if you do, it's only going to be opening spots. It's only going to be like venues that are small and nothing too big, because you have to be really trusted in a lot of these venues.
Right.
So especially to get like the closing spots or like longer 4, 5, 6 hour gigs, which some of the places are offering.
Right.
But yeah, if you want to get booked those places, you got to be versatile. Versatility is definitely the biggest thing that you have to have as a DJ in Tampa.
So if versatility is a big part of it, you stay booked at all these places. We were talking about consistency and holding residencies. You hold all of those places. What else is it besides that?
What do you mean? Like,
What else comes into play when you want to keep a place? Or like how do you maintain a residency?
how do you maintain residency? Oh, that's a good question. Definitely always showing up on time, doing your job.
What's on time?
30 minutes, 30 to, depending if you're setting up equipment. If you're setting up equipment, at least an hour early. But I usually try to show up at least 30 minutes early. At
Louder,
least, you know what I mean?
Louder.
This guy posts stories 30 minutes before his start time. And he's like already playing. So
Yeah,
he's a
yeah.
different breed. It's a different breed. But
But that's what it takes.
showing up on time, not getting too drunk, being respectful to employees, tipping out your bartenders.
Let's say closing your tab.
Playing the right music is definitely the biggest thing I would say, besides being on time and being like prompt. But that's with any job.
So why do so many DJs get playing the right music wrong when we all know so much about music?
I just think it's kind of like the vibe of the venue and the clientele. So every venue has a different vibe for the most part, and a different clientele. So like you'll have places like M-Bird and Sparrow, and the clientele is going to be similar, but depending on the time of the day, you're going to play different type of music. So like
Absolutely.
you wouldn't play the same stuff at 7 p.m. at Sparrow that you're going to play at 1 a.m. at Sparrow or midnight, because it's a different crowd. It's a dinner crowd earlier on. So it's all about reading the room. Like the hardest part about being a good DJ is reading the room and kind of understanding if people are liking the stuff you're playing and they're vibing with it. Are you playing too loud? Is stuff you're playing too much, too high energy? Are you playing stuff that's too low energy?
Am I too
quiet?
boring?
Yeah, exactly. And like sometimes it's really hard to read a room, especially early in the night when people are sober.
Right.
Sometimes I'll have nights where I'm opening a gig at, let's say it was like Bar Howard or something like that, and I'll play every genre, and people aren't really reacting to anything, and they're kind of just having their conversation, drinking their drink, which is fine, and that's kind of the role of the opening
I'm not
DJ.
going to force it.
You got to set the vibe. You know what I mean?
Right.
You don't want to see them not reacting and then try something that's like too much. Play a song that's like too high energy, because it might drive them away. You don't want to drive customers away. You know what I mean? So sometimes it's better to be. I like to play more on the safe side than the experimental side.
I ain't going to risk it.
Depending where I am, you know what I mean? If I'm at a venue where I'm like super comfortable, I'll slip in a couple of experimental songs in there, but I'll make sure the next song I play is something that everybody knows, something that everybody can kind of like vibe with.
Right.
But I try not to get too experimental unless it's like super slow.
And even your experimental isn't necessarily talking about,
No,
let me
no,
try this peekaboo remix
No, nothing like that.
of Mutt.
If Parker was here, Parker would definitely do that.
Yeah.
but
He's going to push that.
Yeah.
But your experimental is, let me try this Rufus remix
Yes, correct,
in the
yeah.
middle of the night when,
Correct,
they
yeah.
might not be really built for that.
For sure. And it's honestly funny though. Like a lot of people ask me, like, you ever have a tough time like choosing what songs? I honestly have a tougher time choosing songs for a room with 10 people in it than a room with 500 people in it.
But yeah.
I feel like I don't know why I double guess or I second guess every song I play when there's 10 people there.
Yeah.
When there's 100 people there, like 1,000 people there, whatever it is, like I know what songs to play. You know what
It's
I mean?
percentages.
Yeah.
If I have 10 people and, I got 2 or 3 of them kind of moving a little bit, That's 20, 30%.
Yeah.
I'm doing all right. That baseball-wise, I'm a Hall of Famer.
For sure.
But you feel it so much more versus, oh, there's 1,000 people in here.
For sure.
If I got 300 moving, I got 200 moving,
Yeah.
we're moving.
For sure.
I'm still feeling the energy.
It's a good way to look at it.
And
for
it's
sure.
and it's energy based.
Yeah.
I think a lot of the problems with the younger DJs and the people that mess up at these gigs, you hear horror stories every time you come in on a Saturday
For sure.
about the Friday guy or whatever
For sure.
it may be. They just don't know how to understand the energy that's around them.
For sure.
This energy's down a little bit. They just want to hang out. They just want to vibe. Let's just do that. Let's just hang. But some people just come into it with this intention and just, I'm going to slam them.
For sure.
I'm about to give them that work. This is my first time at Sparrow, so
Yeah.
I got to show them that I'm about it. Why don't you do that?
So a lot of times, people, I think a lot of DJs will kind of like have this mindset that I'm gonna go into this venue and I'm gonna play this set list with this, all these songs, and maybe not in a specific order, but sometimes you get
But
there.
sometimes in that order.
Yeah, but sometimes you get there and it's completely different vibe. I'll give you a prime example. I played at M-Bird last Saturday. I had my whole set list ready to go. I get there. I'm sorry, the day of, they booked another DJ before me, out of town Vegas DJ, very great DJ, Joe Maz. And,
He's a banger.
Yeah, he was great.
He's on
he did a great
Club
job.
Killers and a couple other
Yeah, for
record
sure.
pools,
He's
yeah.
very notable DJ. They filmed him from Vegas. He was playing a little more open format, not like necessarily a full format, but he was playing like open format EDM. Every song he had was a mashup of a very popular song.
125 remix up.
Correct.
Just
yeah,
banging, banging,
and
banging.
almost all of his own edits. And for me, I can't go in there and play deep house after that. You know what I mean? Everyone's been singing their heart out for 2 hours.
They're juiced.
I can't go in there playing, Abo, Odd Mob, all those new guys because they want to hear stuff that they know. And
Abo got some remixes though.
no,
that are on that.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, I'm just
he's got a
saying.
ton. He's got a ton. I love Abo, but I had to completely change my set list. I showed up an hour and hour and a half early, so I had plenty of time. So I completely changed my set list.
Let me
that
read
night.
the room and make sure I'm not going to
also,
flub up off
another
rip.
reason I mainly changed my set list was because the owner of the entire building was there in a VIP section, and my boss, the booking DJ, was there. So I needed to make sure that every song I played was on point, fitting to the crowd. I needed to keep up that energy that the DJ before me was.
Right.
And that's really hard. Honestly, it's easier to DJ after someone who's playing like easy stuff. When you're coming up after like the slugger, like the fourth batter, it's hard to come after him and kind of keep everybody there.
That closing
So-
set after the headliner,
For sure.
and a lot of venues do that now. It used to be the headliner played until the club closed. But then recently it's kind of changed so you play the headliner early.
For sure.
And then you have a local or his support close that lasts like hour and a half.
Yeah.
And you've probably seen it where as soon as that other person jumps on, whole room dies.
For sure.
Everyone leaves.
Yeah, I can give you a good example of that. So
You did it?
Well, no, I've had that happen before, but it
Hey,
was,
I've done it. It's
wasn't
okay.
my fault. It wasn't my
I'm not
fault.
ripping.
So shout out to Sammy.
Don't look at Sammy. Look at the camera.
Shout out to Sammy Muta for this, but I got booked to close for Hugh Gell at Ivy Rose
I was at that one.
in 2021.
That was a Hugh Gell booking
as soon as
way
he
ahead of
hopped
its time.
off, those people are gone in like 15 minutes.
They were all trying to go
But I get it though. It was a college crowd. The headliner played until 1 o'clock. You know what I mean? So it's different crowd, different vibe, different venue. You know what I mean? You kind of can't expect every place to be the same. When I hop on an M-Bird at 1 o'clock in the morning, I don't expect anybody to be leaving. You know what I mean? Everybody stays until like the lights are on, pretty much at least at these
That's
type of
hard.
venues. So which is hard to do. Like I love that feeling when they're turning the lights off and everyone's like, no, like one more song, please. And I'm just like, I'm sorry, like you got to go.
Along those same lines, there was one time, you remember GTA?
Of course, yeah.
So
Good
GTA
times
played
ahead.
it. Yeah, GTA played at Drink.
Yeah,
Myself and Blunts and Blondes were opening and closing.
yeah.
So once we jumped on to close, lights came on, everything came on, and there was like 10 people that came up that were pissed.
Yeah.
They were like, so what, it was you guys the whole time? You guys aren't even really GTA. We thought it was you for that. And then we had to explain to them. But just the idea that you can hold those people when you're not kind of supposed to.
For sure.
You are, so based off of what we've already talked about, you know what the fuck you're talking about when it comes to the DJ aspect of
sure.
everything. You're a hustler, though. I know we want to talk about the bus.
We can talk about the bus. We can talk about everything.
How many people hopped on the Nightlife Express?
A lot of people have been on there for sure. A lot of friends, a lot of college kids, a lot of liabilities and broken things,
And like anybody that's watched the show before or just knows me, I made a living right as I was figuring out the DJ thing, running buses. Running buses to Asia Channel side, LA Hangout, wherever it was. Just a whole party bus idea.
Yeah.
$5-10 a person, you got there and back, you got drinks, you had a full experience on the way there.
Yeah.
You took that shit a step further and said, I'm gonna just grab the whole ass bus.
Yeah, so it definitely was quite the project to start up.
Project.
Yeah, it definitely was a project. It definitely was a headache, to say the least. Think about like the worst headache you ever had, and like times it by like 3.
That bad?
Just because like liability. Like think about the study back in the day.
You guys went through a lot of TVs, which is the thing I
We
noticed.
went through like 7 TVs in like a year.
Just because there was like 2
TVs
TVs in
TVs
the
are
bus.
still being broken to this day. Yeah, so like you got to think about it. It's all about the clientele you have on there. If I have a wedding and everyone there is 40 plus, probably nothing will break. But the clientele we're picking up is a lot of college kids, a lot of people who are like can't handle their alcohol. They make stupid mistakes when they're drunk. They haven't really learned their like their young person lesson
Amateur
yet.
hour.
Correct.
It's like the New Year's Eve crowd, the people that
Yeah.
don't go out very often. So when they do,
Yeah,
they don't really know how to act. But since they're spending money, they think it doesn't matter.
for sure. So the same thing applies to the bus. Like the bus is just like, it was just like the study. Like every night something's broken. You know what I mean? And like dealing with that is horrible. You know, getting off.
Piss.
No, nothing like that. Nothing
Throw
like
up?
that. Throw up for sure. You know, throw up. It was mainly stuff.
Throw up's
broken.
worse than piss.
Yeah, I was actually on the bus when someone threw up, but I grabbed the trash can so fast it was crazy.
I mean, I probably fucking would too.
Yeah, but it's kind of like the thing was like what happens is let's say I had a gig, a Friday night bus rental. Bus breaks, the TV breaks on a Friday night. I get off my DJ gig at 2 a.m. I have a rental on Saturday, so it's either
Saturday morning for the tailgate.
yeah, depending on what the schedule was. Sometimes we did tailgates right for USF, and I'd have to get home at 2 a.m. I'd have to rip off the back wall, rip out a TV, and then go to Walmart the next morning, go buy a brand new TV, pop it in, and then it breaks again the next day. You know what I mean? Like,
Right.
So people were just dumb, and the real like breaking point for the bus was definitely one of a fellow DJ. I'm not going to mention his name, but he opened the hatch on the bus, and it flew off on I-275.
The emergency hatch?
The emergency hatch. And then I saw Snapchat videos later of people sticking out their head out. There was people on other people's shoulders sticking their head out the roof on 275.
They've never seen Hereditary.
I've never seen Hereditary, but
Well, if you would have, that would have
Yeah.
fucked you up even worse.
is that the one the guy that his head gets like the?
The little sister
Yeah.
has her fucking head
Yeah,
out.
okay, I've seen it. That's the only clip I've seen.
Yeah, it's
But
bad.
yeah, it's a liability, you know, and people just like when people are drinking or on other substances, you know, they're not thinking, you know, they don't think straight, and they also just don't care, you know what I mean? So like,
Did you make any money off the bus?
no, so like almost all the money went into like repairs, into upgrades. You know. Listen, hear me out. In businesses, it's not about making money; it's about not losing money. And the key is, I didn't lose any money on the bus. Okay?
You didn't come out of pocket.
No, I meant we didn't lose any money.
Okay.
Okay. Not a dollar was lost, thankfully. You know, every dollar.
You're phrasing this so well.
Every dollar. This isn't Shark Tank. Every
don't
dollar we profited went right into reinvesting. So I'm not sure. Are you familiar with Amazon?
I am.
Okay, we did the Jeff Bezos strategy, but you know, sometimes strategies don't really work. You know,
Okay.
so like, and this
You were
one
just going to spend, and hope to scale up.
correct.
Yeah.
Well, you know, Amazon.
No, that's a good question.
the
Not
Amazon-
everyone's familiar with Amazon.
Have you ever? Yeah, other countries don't get Amazon.
I do have Prime.
Okay, well,
Yeah.
my sister got Prime. I'm on her account, so.
And weren't you
I gotta
saying,
do it.
you were saying earlier you got money?
I never said that. When did I say I got money?
You didn't say it on film, but I got you. I got you.
I'm not the type of person to
get
say I got money. It's all about perspective too. Like, I got money compared to someone else, but a lot of other people compared to me, they got money. I'm broke. So it's all about perspective. You know what I mean?
Well, yeah, when you grow up poor, having like little things like Amazon Prime means you have money.
Yeah. I'm on my sister's account though, but yeah.
And you still have money because you had enough to buy a bus and just piss it out on everybody.
Yeah,
and
the
flip
bus.
out
We got a
TVs all
good
the
deal on the
time.
bus. We got a good deal on the bus.
How good was this deal?
So the bus, we bought the bus for $8,500, but the bus was like a full-on school bus. It wasn't like a yellow school bus, but it had to be completely renovated.
Handicap school bus?
No, it wasn't handicap accessible. We had
smaller.
some handicap on there, but there were no handicap accessible.
Well, it was owned by the handicapable.
it wasn't a short bus. It was 32 foot long. It was a pretty big bus. I bought it in Dallas, Texas, and I drove it home. I never driven anything bigger than a 15-foot U-Haul.
That's a heavy
And
drive.
they just gave us the keys, and they just let us drive back.
Who cares?
To
You don't
Tampa.
need a CDL or nothing. None of that.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
You don't need CDL, yeah. But yeah.
Whatever license it is,
No, you're right. But technically, like, you do need a CDL with the bus, but only if you're transporting more than 15 passengers. Driving it home, we only had 4 people on there.
Okay, good.
So it wasn't like a problem. But once you have more than
good.
15 people on there, then you need to have a CDL. So I don't have a CDL.
That's where they started getting you, huh?
Yeah. The DOT, they don't mess around with the DOT, the Department of Transportation. They don't mess around.
Either way, I'm gonna get off you on the bus. I do appreciate how I kind of watched you go from you were DJing 1, 2, 3 nights a week doing the college shit.
Mm-hmm.
Then one day you started doing a few more formal events.
For sure.
The next thing I know, you're starting to get into more corporate, that sort of thing.
For sure.
When did that transition start to happen?
That transition, I mean, I really started doing private events kind of when I started. I mainly sorority events. Like, I was doing like philanthropy events. Like,
that counts.
I remember my first like real private event was at the USF gym. It was a moonball, which is like a volleyball competition.
Oh, was it cheer toss?
Gamify. No, I did cheer toss like definitely before.
Hot dog.
Yeah, we done cheer toss. Shout out AD Pie.
You did anger splash?
I participated in Anger Splash.
You win?
No.
I won Anger Splash.
If you would have seen me in that Speedo, you wouldn't have had me win either.
I competed twice.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, we got disqualified on purpose the first year, and then second year we got first in performance and first overall.
But yeah, my first like real private event, I remember it was with these. I forget the brand of the speaker, but these 2 horrible 500-watt speakers.
Some Behringer bullshits.
It wasn't Behringer. It was another cheap brand though. Like,
okay.
And they barely filled the room with sound. Like nowadays, like I would never even touch those speakers. And it was $150 for like, I think it was 3 hours. So like,
not bad.
$50 an hour.
$50 an hour.
It was pretty easy too. Like I didn't have to do much. I mean, $50 an hour. You know,
back then that's sick.
Well, when I first started, for sure, I used to do Bears for 4 hours for $200 or whatever.
Yeah.
Halloween, I got $250 though. You know,
as a holiday. Holiday.
Yeah, that's holiday pay. Yeah.
This is Hoff.
Yeah. My rate's higher now. Depends. I still work deals.
But me and Sammy were talking earlier, and a lot of people that watch this, and a lot of these younger DJs, they all want to be headlining Ultra and doing main stage at EDC and all this other shit. And at a certain point, you have to decide, am I going to be that and produce a bunch of music, or am I down to like actually make money consistently, being more on the local private side? Yeah. Would you consider yourself that, or are you still striving for the main stage?
I would never really say I was ever really truly striving for the main stage. I definitely would like, it'd be a cool opportunity to be up there.
Right.
But like,
and you'd smash it.
That lifestyle, I don't know if I can really like, I really fit in and mesh with that lifestyle too much. I mean, I don't really like consider myself to be like a big like social media person, and you have to really like push your social media at that. Kind of got to give up all your family and friends.
You would freak people out on socials if you really leaned into it.
Yeah, you gotta give everything up. You gotta learn how to be changing time zones every week. You gotta learn how to sleep on planes, and like it seems like a pretty cool lifestyle from the outside. But I've watched so many podcasts with like big DJs, and they're like, "Listen, this life is not easy."
Yeah,
and like it's hard to make it. It's almost like becoming like an MLB player. Like MLB players probably like harder, but like still, it's like it's the same thing as the big leagues, and like everybody's working towards the big leagues, and like some people only want to be minor leagues. Some people only want to do college, you know what I mean? But some people really want to be in the big leagues, and the people that really want it, they don't always make it. But those are the ones that typically make it. The guys who like want it more than they want to breathe. You know what I mean?
They just go all in.
Oh yeah, for sure. And I know a lot of guys around me that it's like weird. There's like two sides of it. I know guys that are super talented in Tampa. I'm not gonna like name any names, but they just don't really like push like the marketing side. And there's some amazing producers, and they should be like playing shows at Space and other big festivals, but they don't really push that side, that social media side, and don't really like market themselves as an artist.
Right.
But I know guys that are local who market themselves as an artist, and they only get local gigs, and then on Instagram they look like they're like a superstar.
And their ass.
Yeah. Well, I wouldn't say their ass. I'd say a good friend of mine. I'm not going to say his name, but like he's one of the biggest local Tampa DJs, and he really markets himself as like a true like artist. But I wouldn't really
say his name.
I'm not. This isn't like saying that, but like Pushman. Pushman's a good example.
He's like, not ass.
That's what I was saying. That's what I was saying.
So then why can't you just say his name?
Well, I don't want you. I don't know.
Sammy thinks he's ass, but
yes, Push's ass.
I think Sammy's ass.
No, but like Push.
Tell
like,
Sammy to come
if
see
you
me
go
in NCAA.
if you go on Push's Instagram, he looks like he's like the best DJ in Tampa, and he's definitely one of the best.
Is he
DJs in
not?
Tampa. He's definitely one of the best. I'm not gonna say he's the best because that's a touchy subject. After a couple weeks ago,
I was gonna say
he's definitely top 52.
I don't know. They left you off the top 50 as well, even though you make all this money.
I don't think I should be in the top 50. Like
You don't.
I can name another 50 guys who are better than me. I can name 2 guys in this room who are better than me who should have been on that list before me. Like I'm a humble guy. I'm not going to be the guy who's going to be on there saying like, "Oh, I should have made the list." I know some guys that did that or commented on saying like, "How is my name not on there?" Like it's like you look so.
No, we know why.
Yeah, exactly. Do I think that 25 of those guys should have on that list 10 years ago? Yeah, but like today, no.
Not that deep.
No. And even if that list was accurate, I still don't even think I deserve to be on that list because I still think there's easily 50 other guys in Tampa that have a better resume than me, have been played at better venues than me, have opened up for bigger people than me.
Right.
And like I don't know, I feel like I'm a humble person for the most part. I don't try
That's
to
real.
go around acting like I'm like better than I am.
We'll take that all day long. And you juggle that. You juggle being able to be that versatile, that kind of chill with it, with a day job.
For sure.
You're consistently just always doing something.
Always grinding.
Where's the juice come from?
I don't know. My favorite drug is money, man. I don't know. Like I'm not like I don't like value money that much, but I just know that like money is like the only thing I'll ever like have to being like free in life.
Gives me what I want to do when I
And
want to
like
do it.
I don't want to be working till I'm 50. I don't want to be like my dad. My dad's gonna be working probably till he's like 70. I don't want to be in that position. I want to be able to go to dinner and not worry about like how much it is. I want to be able to get like the seafood tower like San Muto at like Ocean Prime. You know what I mean? Like
Trying to ball. Trying to save me money.
Exactly. I'm not the type of guy to even like post that stuff. I mean, I don't really care what people think about my opinion. I mean, like my.
You kind of keep most of that to yourself for the most
yeah,
part.
yeah. I mean, like, 'cause I don't know. The way I look at it is when I'm on Instagram, I'm like, do I care that you're at this place? Do I care you're here? No. I'm like, next. It's like, if I don't care about what you're doing, like, why are you going to care about what I'm doing? I'm not like anyone special, you know what I mean? So
You don't care about what they're doing.
my mom cares, but like, besides my mom, like.
Yeah, we had a great time with her when we went to Kobe too. Remember when she sat right next to us?
My mom said it. I know what you're talking about, but that looks nothing like my mom.
No, I know. That whole time, I thought that lady was your mom. And like when we got out, I was like, "Yeah, Hoff's
that would
mom
mean
was
that
really
that kid
cool."
with us was my brother, though.
I didn't know what was going on.
And he got the short end of the stick, that kid.
I was like, "Well, it's Hoff's birthday. They didn't want to be weird about the friend group, whatever it was." But Sammy's like, "Dude, that was not fucking Hoff's
my
mom."
mom's Puerto Rican. That lady was like...
That lady was so weird and so comfortable with us the whole time and just kept talking to you about everything.
I don't think those people are ever going back to Kobe again. I think that's the last time they're ever going to go to that restaurant.
No, I think they're going to go back yearly looking for you on your birthday.
What did I do? Damn.
They just, that lady, again, I felt the connection there.
Yeah.
But either way.
Shout out to Kobe. If it ain't your birthday, it's your birthday there. Just tell them it's your birthday. You got a free cupcake.
The sponsor for today's episode is going to be Kobe Japanese Steakhouse. Thank you for sponsoring so many of our family dinners.
Sponsored by the
birthday
Sumo
dinners.
Platter. What's that drink called? The Parker drink?
The bowl.
The Dragon?
The Dragon Bowl? Something. Volcano Bowl.
Yeah.
Parker sucks, but that drink was pretty fucking sick.
Yeah.
Parker was supposed to get on this episode too and like pop up at some point, but
Yeah.
you were talking. Can you get us another round of these from her real quick? Me and Hoff to close. Thank you. You want to cross across the camera really quick so we don't look weird? All right, fine, whatever. Fuck you too then. So you were talking about podcasts earlier and how like you listen to a bunch of them. You also listen to a lot of Kill Tony, a lot of comedy stuff to transition off the DJ shit. You're not just a DJ. You're more than a DJ.
I'm more than that.
You're a comedy fan.
Huge comedy fan. I've always been a comedy fan.
You like Ari Mati?
I like him. I think, I don't know. Maybe it's just his accent that kind of like makes things a bit funnier. I don't know. I know you're not a huge fan of him. I'm not saying I'm a huge fan of him, but like I don't think he's bad. I think there's worse people on that show.
I think the accent is like dragged along and it's just like a forced thing that he's trying to get people to like get into.
Do you think he's like faking it or like you think he's like...
I think he drags and exaggerates a lot when it's not necessary. And it's just stupid. And I think the accent is fine. Whatever, I don't care. but they oversell him.
Okay.
They don't oversell William. And I used
You don't think he's over?
I used to skip William for like 2 years, like every time he
I
came
don't
on.
skip his minute. I skip his interviews though.
And then after a while, I was like, you know what? Let me just let him rip. Let him have it. You know what I mean?
He's hit or miss for me. Mainly miss. I like the ones that hit are like funny, but not like funny.
When he hits, he hits.
Yeah, but I feel like when I laugh, I'm not like some of the other comedians on the show. I'll be laughing for like 2 minutes straight after something I said. When he says something, I feel like I'm like, like it's like a quick like, oh, that was like clever, funny, but like, I don't know. I also don't like how he has everything on note cards. I feel like
That's lazy.
I feel like that's lazy. It looks like you just wrote that like 5 minutes ago.
Probably did.
And I feel like, I mean, he's definitely had the most minutes in Kill Tony history, but at the same time, like, I guess technically, Steph Curry's had the most misses probably in history. So technically, the more shots you take, the more misses you have. But I feel like he's had a lot of misses.
That's
and
being
I feel like,
reasonable.
yeah, and like it just comes with any job. Like
So-
anything you do, the more you do it, the more fails you have. So it kind of like, I guess, kind of skews my perception. I don't hate him, but I'm not like I would never go pay to see him.
Never.
Yeah.
So then, not limited to Kill Tony, who are your favorites, or who would you go pay to see?
Oh, some of my favorites. Mark Norman's
Love
huge
him.
favorite.
Love him.
I just saw Shane Gillis in Tampa recently. He
Bang.
used to
Tires
be
is
huge.
also banging.
Tires, good show. I like Andrew Schultz's podcast because he has
His stand-up's ass.
his stand-up's hit or miss. Like,
I'm the same way with Chris Stefano.
Yeah, Chris Stefano. I like him too.
Both, but him and Andrew Schultz, I like them just
Yeah.
talking and hanging out more than their actual stand-up. Their stand-up's
Okay,
ass.
for sure. I think Andrew Schultz years ago was funnier than he is now. I think he's now like a little too like
Douchey.
Yeah, he's definitely a bit douchey. I hated his last haircut. Last haircut was horrible.
The fucking
He looked like
yeah. Yeah, this man covers his mouth. Yeah, whatever you say, dude.
Kanye's favorite. He looked
Yeah.
like Kanye's favorite.
No, I get what you were going.
Theo Vaughn's huge. Like this past weekend was a great podcast. He always has very interesting guests on.
Yep.
I like the guy. I like when they pull like diversity. Like back to Andrew Schultz. Like he had like the owner of Carbone on there.
Right.
And it was cool seeing things from like a perspective of like a restaurant owner, a successful
Right.
restaurant owner. And he has like a bunch of other people on there. But
You like
the-
Tim Dillon?
I loved Tim Dillon's super funny. I like how he just says whatever he wants. He doesn't.
He's
care.
been my number one lately.
He doesn't care about like the Rogan sphere. He'll talk. I mean, he's in the Rogan sphere, but he'll
roast them.
He'll roast them.
Yeah.
He'll roast everybody. He's roasting politics. He's super
Both
funny.
sides of politics.
Both sides. I don't mind. Like, I'm not a big political guy.
Nah.
I like politics when you're making fun of both sides.
Yeah,
for sure. Like
you're more on the racism side than the political side.
I'm more on the funny side than, they always
That one got you, huh?
they always call me a racist, but never a liar. I saw on Twitter. I'm sorry. That's gonna be a clip right there.
Yes, sir.
I feel like whatever you say, if you say something that's like racist but it's not funny, then it's racist. But if you say something that's racist but it's really funny, like you're
Really,
just
really-
racist for laughing.
Really funny to who?
Funny to both sides.
How often does that happen?
I'd say I can't tell. Most of my jokes are in a group chat. I don't know, but like most.
He said, "I can't tell." I know you can't.
Most jokes I make, I try to make them to where like even the person that I'm making fun of, this isn't racially, but even the person I'm making fun of is like would laugh at it too. Like a comedian would. Like if you go to like a
Are you giving me an example of one of these jokes?
yeah, no. I don't have any. I'm not a guy who can write jokes. I'm more of like an in the moment like improv,
Zingers.
like zingers. Yeah, just like my brain's really quick. Sometimes it's a little too quick. My mouth is too fast. Sometimes I say stuff and I'm like, all right.
No, I know.
I probably shouldn't have said that.
Yeah, no, I get it.
Yeah, he's seen it. I've done my apologies. I've apologized to half.
No, they're usually hilarious. But
Yeah.
just because you're just so out there.
Yeah, sometimes I just say stuff that's like super out there. I don't know, and I think that humor is definitely like my like. I wouldn't say like a coping mechanism, but I think humor like kind of like fixes everything. I feel
That
like,
resets you the same way
yeah,
we were
like
talking
I
about.
feel like you could be going through anything, and if someone can make you like laugh or smile, I feel like that kind of like makes you forget for like a minute. Like no matter what you're going through, if you're having a bad day or like you're sick, something like that, I feel like I don't know, like just laughing and joking it's the same way music does. I feel like music kind of
Facts.
helps you escape a little bit. You know what I mean? And I feel
Takes the robot out of it.
Comedy's like the same. I feel like comedy, like you kind of like I don't know, it helps you like lighten up a little bit. I feel like comedy, like, at least for me, that's just how it is. Like I can't ever like be in a bad mood if I'm like laughing. Or,
Can't.
like, you know what I mean? It's kind of hard to be like.
Yeah.
So, or at least when you're in a bad mood, if you're like laughing, like I feel like you just aren't gonna be in a bad mood anymore.
Would you say comedy is your way to kind of reset and keep yourself balanced
sure.
with all the working and shit you're doing?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, like when I'm not working, I'm home watching comedy podcasts, working on my AI business I was talking about earlier, like clipping comedy streams, stuff like that.
Right.
But like, I don't know, like most stuff I watch nowadays, like that's sort of the only thing that kind of like keeps me entertained. One and two, like if I'm doing other tasks and listening to the background, I don't have to be visually watching for comedy. You know what I mean? Comedy, I can be cleaning my house, I can be washing dishes, I can be cooking. I don't have to necessarily be watching the entire time.
Right.
So that's why I like comedy a lot. And I can even play video games while I'm like listening to something, you know what I mean? So it's like, it kind of like, you don't have to be as like invested in watching. And
It's light.
Yeah, for sure. It's more of like an audio thing, and like you can multitask like while listening to a lot of things you can as well. Even like music's the same way, but like I don't know, it's a way it kind of helps me escape a little bit.
So before we fully escape out of here, any closing advice for younger DJs, younger hustlers, any of the jitterbugs or old heads that might be watching this?
I don't know. I'm a big future thinker, and I think a lot of people, unfortunately, they don't really think about the future. They're only thinking about what I want today.
In the now.
In the now. And I think that kind of like screws a lot of people over in the long run. They're thinking about, what I want to do today, what I want to do tonight, and they're not thinking about, hey, what am I going to be doing in 3 years? What am I going to be doing in 5 years? Even what am I going to be doing in a month? Like, people don't even think that far. And I think that in the industry we're in, where it's not like a consistent salary, you're not making the same money, you kind of got to be smart, like with how you structure everything. And
You got to be really far ahead. You
gotta
got to
think really
know
far
June
ahead,
and July
'cause
are going to be slow.
You're going to have months like January and February, all the corporate events are going to be coming in, you're making a good amount of money, and then the summer months come by and you're like, man, like I really wish I didn't
get a day job.
I really wish I didn't buy that new bag, or I wish I didn't buy that, the other thing, you know what I mean? Like, and kind of like, I feel like it bites people on the butt, you know what I mean?
What's that other thing?
The new bag, something like that. Listen, I'm not a purchaser myself, but like, I've definitely seen a lot of people who focus too much on like the Gucci bags and like
I'm
the
going
Louis
to get you
bags.
out of here before you say something too wild, Hoff.
I don't do anything wild. I say it.
Yeah, I was about to say, I'm going to get you out of here.
But yeah, I'm
But
not
either which way, do you need to plug socials? What is it, at Hoff Music or something?
at Hoff Music. I don't need to plug it, but at This Is Muto, definitely follow him too.
Yeah, no, that's a good one.
It's my boss.
At Szn3ep8 Aesthetics.
At Szn3ep8 Aesthetics, best photographer, videographer in the Bay.
You already know.
At
Who's actually-
Chief
who's that-
Sut. Chief Sut. At
Szn3ep's actually
Holland's
voted-
Football.
Yeah, keep going.
At
Keep going.
Sutton Says.
Midnight Rider DJ Co.
Midnight Rider DJ Co. If you're looking for the best wedding, Midnight Rider DJ Co. is
You're looking
definitely
for the
there.
best wedding. Great weddings.
Great weddings. He'll provide lighting. You want a 360 photo booth. You want table dancers. Whatever you need, Midnight Rider DJ Co. has got you covered.
Let me know.
Louis bag.
Oh, and make sure you like, subscribe. Apparently, if I don't tell you guys to like follow me on Spotify or YouTube, you won't do it because the views are going up, but the followers are not. So I'm going to start actually actively telling y'all to follow because there's too many of you guys watching this without following. Then I got people asking me, how's the podcast going on? Followers don't look too good. So let's get those followers up so I can shut them haters up.
I'm
Love
gonna,
you.
I'm
Thank
gonna
you.
buy 1,000 followers for him after this podcast. So it looks like my podcast did numbers.
I didn't spend anything, so I don't know anything about that. Peace.
We cut that out.
Nah, keep it.
Long live Chief.